What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us on the second episode of the Alpha-Logic-Fallacies podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Cyrus.
JMV. Your boy B-O-N-O-Bodo. Yeah.
Today we have a special guest. I'd like to introduce Yvette Candelario.
Yvette Candelario. I'm a holistic healer. I own Tuning Fork Therapy for healing.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, Candy. Thank you for being our guest. So, one of the common misconceptions that people usually get with the name Alpha-Logic-Fallacies is the fact that it's based off only men, right? Because typically when you hear an alpha, you see men on a podcast, you think it's only men derived. But as everyone knows, or everyone should know, right? There are alpha women, you being one of those alpha women.
I would consider myself an alpha submissive, so meaning that I am alpha, but I do not want to be submissive with the right man.
Okay.
All right, I love it, I love it.
All right.
Check that. Checkmate, where's my check that?
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's the kind of energy that we want, right? So the topic today that we're going to be discussing is what ladies really like, right? We want to get the insight from an alpha female, what ladies typically like on a bunch of different topics, right? So I'm gonna get everyone started with some chips so we can actually play, and then we're gonna go around the cast and just make some, ask you some questions and see what your responses are to it. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's get it going.
Do me a favor, pick up your chips and put them on top of the table for me. Top of the table.
All right, let's go, man.
All right. Now you're gonna put two red chips on the pass line so you can get started. Two red chips. All right, the first person that's gonna be rolling is gonna be Jay. Put two dice. All right, let's get you started.
Let's do this. Come on, man.
5.
Doing some money this time.
All right, winning number is 5, guys. Do we have any bets on the table?
Definitely, man. Give me 6. 2 on the table.
You're gonna need one more red chip over here. All right, so I'm gonna give you back 3 because this is a $12 bet. All right. Yo, 11. Yeah. So you make money here, Candy, because you bet. No, you make money because you actually were betting on this and you got 11. So here you actually get 10. You can pick up your winnings and leave your original bet, or you can pick them both up. All right. So Candy, one of the first questions we want to ask you, right, is, do looks really matter? Would you consider going on a date with someone that you're not physically attracted to?
Candy, before you answer, don't be coming on here, trying to say what you think people want to hear. Because that's a real good question right there.
I would say, I'm going to say this, there has to be some type of attraction. And now, it may not have to derive from the looks. It could be from the swag of the guy, how he walks in, how he shows his personality, how he dresses. It all has to look at it. I mean, when a woman's going to look straight down and up like that to see how he's dressed, is he wearing nice shoes? Is his hat matching his clothes? We look at stuff like this. So it's not just the looks, it's the swag. That's why we call it swag.
Nice.
And I can honestly say that because I knew one guy from New York, and I'll never forget him. He was a big, heavy guy, like I would say like a big pun. And when he would walk in the room, he'd get the attention of hoes, and I'll tell you that right now. And I never could understand it. We were like, he had swag, and that's all I could say. I'm like, he's a good example of straight up swag.
Okay.
And we would literally be like, damn, this guy's swag. And he had money, but it wasn't the money. It was something. When he walked in the room,
He was interesting.
he was interesting. He caught the attention. Let's just say that.
Nice, nice.
And he was a heavy dude, very heavy. So how did this dude? And that just right there proves that swag is real. So it doesn't matter. Swag doesn't have to do with looks necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, what you entitled, like, having the swag, and, like...
You need swag. You need to know how to talk. You need to know how to enter a room. Because when you enter that room, you got to get the attention of people, so you got to do it in a nice, slick way, in a swag way.
So
that's what makes
somebody
swag.
walking into the room, so you consider he had the swag, so now we're looking at him like he's a real man.
Yeah,
so
he had something to him, and he didn't need muscles for it.
Okay.
So I can't, like I said, he was overweight, and like how did this overweight guy capture the room of women?
Nice.
So that intrigued me. So
And that was real to you.
That's
that was
six.
real,
That's
you
six.
know?
That's good. We good.
Yeah, we got some sixes over there.
Yeah, so I would say focus on your swag if you want to get the attention of
Definitely.
women.
So you would consider that more like a real man. He caught your attention.
He caught attention.
So
He
what
caught
would be
attention more than one
what
girl.
would be the 5 top qualifications considered to you as a real man walking into the room right there?
Real man.
A real man, I would say, would have to
6.
Yeah, numbers
be
on
a
5.
gentleman.
Oh.
Numbers on
shit.
5.
You'd have to be a gentleman. You'd have to enter that room in a gentleman wise and know how to talk. He has to know how to talk. Talk is everything.
Okay.
You sell yourself, so how are you gonna sell yourself? You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, we meet your representative, so you better represent well.
Put it on the front.
You know what I mean? You're doing a front, yeah. So you gotta like put on a good one.
Okay.
So show.
When you talk about talk,
4.
right? What would be like
I can't see it.
the
What is it?
ideal
4.
approach? Like, what would a guy have to say in order to catch your attention?
I would say you have to have personality, and if you can make a girl laugh, every girl loves the guy that makes a girl laugh. That's a fact. You gotta be fun. You can't be boring. You gotta know how to hold the conversation, and you gotta be fun at the same time. So I would say you need to know how to make her laugh, and you need to be sweet too. When
Yo,
you're
11.
but tough at the same time. So if you can manage know how to talk a game and know how to be funny and respectful, that's a
Funny,
quality.
respectful, mouthpiece.
Funny, respectful, but also I would say sweet, but also tough. So you gotta balance those two energies out. So you gotta be tough and you also gotta be sweet. So I gotta be like, oh, he's
7
tough,
out.
he's nice.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to say that. And I can't say, oh, he's cocky.
No.
You don't want a cocky guy. No girl likes that, man. You'll be done for the. If you come out cocky, you're done. Because like I'm telling you, I've seen guys walk in and they're handsome, and that we just had one the other day, and the girl says, he's so cocky. And this guy walked in this room thinking he was the hot shit,
So,
and he just turned everybody off. And you know he probably could have been.
But
question.
But to your point, walking into the room,
Right.
it sounds like he didn't even say anything.
Right.
So when he walked in the room,
He
what told
assumed
you
that he was good.
cocky?
He assumed that he was the shit. Like to the point that he walked in and my girl said, "You know what he said?" I said, "What did he
Okay,
say?"
he said something.
He
Okay.
said, "Oh, I'm good looking." Like he basically was trying. I guess he was already. That's a sign of low self-esteem. He had to already let her know that he's good looking. Why you gotta do that?
Yeah, that's cocky.
That's cocky.
I'm
So,
actually
let's
glad
please
that
open.
you clarified that because
Yes.
there's a misconception out there that women like cockiness.
No, we don't. We
Major
don't like
misconception.
cockiness. And
So-
right there, so we were already judging him. So I'm gonna tell you how bad we judged this poor dude. When he walked in and said that, she's like, who says that? He's gay. Right away, we thought he was gay. I don't even think he was gay. I just think he threw that cockiness to too much of a level that we already named him a fact.
So question. So,
So,
What
he
for
went,
you-
He went too far.
for you as a woman, what distinguishes cockiness from confidence?
That's what I'm
Yo,
saying.
that's a great
That's
question.
That's a good
That's
question.
great
You know what it is?
That
It's
a
because
great
you
question.
should already walk in a room and you should already train your mind to believe that you are worthy of everybody in that room. Because once you do that, before you enter a room, you don't gotta say a word. Energy speaks for itself.
Nice, that's
So
great.
you train your mind 30 minutes prior before you enter that room, put it in your head. Say, I am good looking, I am successful, and I can pull every girl in that room. And you put that in your mind 30 minutes prior before you enter that room.
Oh, his
I
question
promise
is
you.
coming. His question
Yeah.
is coming.
Get him.
But,
His question is coming.
and I truly
Frank.
believe you.
Yep.
And-
But
and
two
I understand
chips
this.
now.
Let's go, let's
But
go.
in a place like Miami, right, where it's all flash and glitz and glam and money and money and money, statistically, only like around
You wanna get a girl's attention?
Hold on, like only around 16% of men are making over 6 figures.
Okay.
Right? So when you walk into a room and we see somebody like Candy, right, who's looking at your confidence, who's also looking at your money, right? He has to kind of overcompensate because chances are he's
Well,
not making
you don't
those
even
6 figures.
gotta compensate that much. What you gotta do is be respectful, but you also gotta be
100%.
willing to buy a girl a drink. Be willing to invest. See, you don't
It's good. I like
wanna
that.
invest.
I like that. I like
You don't
that.
want to invest in us.
That's
And when you buy me a drink, you are telling me that you want to invest in me, and then I will consider maybe investing in you.
Now-
You understand? It's an
I got it.
investment on
That's
both
good.
sides.
That's good.
Four right
I
now?
100%
Hold on, we on
got
four
that.
right
Now,
now?
Four.
So we're dealing with four.
And I'm not speaking as one of those guys who should come in cocky, right? I'm
Yes.
speaking as the person who is not making that sort of money.
I need,
Yep.
I
And
need
he's
6 more.
living in Miami,
It's 12.
and that's the only thing that any perception.
See,
Perception.
we're not asking for a bottle. We're
Perception is the
asking
only
you
thing
to
that
One more
any
red
woman
chip.
thinks
purchase
about.
a drink so you can start a conversation starter.
Right.
And from just the fact that you would even do that, because men don't want to do that nowadays. They don't want to invest in any way. So when you do that to a girl and you come off nice, and then you're talking, you can win her right there. You have the opportunity. You
Yeah.
already invested in her. You took her time out. That shows you're a gentleman.
What was the last word?
A woman
Four.
always wants a man that takes care of her. Not necessarily they want you to purchase a bottle.
So-
what they want you to do
okay.
is to show that you're willing to invest in me.
So-
You're willing to take me to dinner, get to know me,
100%.
not take me to the room and fuck me. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
We're not done. We know this.
So question, so you're
So-
saying when you meet someone, he offers you a drink, he buys you a drink, that's a good sign saying
It's
he's
a good
willing to
sign he's
invest
willing to
in
invest.
establishing rapport with you to begin with, right?
And that right there tells me he would probably take me on a nice date.
Yeah,
See,
right.
and right there, there's guys that don't even want to do that now.
What if, so
a lot
what
of
if-
girls just say, I don't want to date him then. You
So
know
what
I
if
mean?
a guy-
Nobody wants a guy that don't invest in you.
And so
That's
what if a
fact.
guy doesn't ask you what you want to drink and just gets you a beer? How do
See,
you feel?
right there, I'm not a beer drinker, so right there, that would turn me off right
Well,
there.
we won't know if you're a beer drinker or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The offer's
Let's
still
just
there.
say this, girls, the problem with women is that we think every man, we're looking at you if you're the one. That's a problem a lot of girls do. When you walk in, is he the one? So you do one little small thing, they're like, that's it, he's not the one. He's not the one. My horoscope said, I was gonna meet the guy saying he's not the one. This is what women think. So you gotta understand, like, they're judging you right off the bat while you're talking. Like, these girls are paranoid. They even believe in zodiacs. They're like, what zodiac are you? Oh, forget it. You're Taurus, I can't talk to you. This is how they are.
Yeah.
So this is what you're up
That's
against.
definitely how they are, but I'm saying from a guy's perspective and from a guy that has experience.
Okay.
Right? Yes, you're wondering if he's the one, but the first thing on your list is how much money is he making?
Well, not necessarily
And-
that. We want to know that you can at
Not
least.
you, not you.
I can buy
Here.
my. I'm just gonna give you an example. If I go to a club, I can buy myself a drink and I can buy my friend a drink. Okay, that's a fact. That's just me. If you can't do that with me and my friend, you probably can't.
Frank,
You're not in my
roll,
level.
roll.
You should definitely
You gotta roll.
But that's what I mean. This is how we judge y'all because
100%.
you gotta be on our level or not
6.
below us. You gotta be above us or below or equal to us.
That's a great question. I mean, a great segue to my question is
Yes.
about, are you willing to date somebody
You want me to
who's
stay on the
not
high end?
successful?
You gotta be.
Because hold on, because your answer is gonna answer
Yeah.
what I just said about 6 figures.
I will tell you right now, you gotta be, this is what I've known, you gotta be either on my level or above me. You cannot be below me. And the thing is, even if you're at my level, you gotta be a little still more above me because I have to look up to you as a woman. I don't wanna look up, I don't want a man looking up to me constantly. We need somebody to look up to as the emperor. In order to be a successful couple together, the emperor and empress, the empress cannot be with a page. She can't be with the knight. She has to be with an emperor.
Yeah.
So you gotta know what you're, first of all, you gotta know what you're approaching. Are you approaching a page woman, a princess, a queen, or an empress? So know who you're approaching first. So when you get to know her, find out what she does because then you'll know, okay, I have an empress here. I may not be on her level. Let me let me see if I can match up to her. Am I willing to put in the work to match up to her? Or if I'm not, because a lot of times these men are pages coming up to an empress. You're not gonna fucking hook up there. An empress is here. She's looking for the emperor.
So now,
So you need to know who you're approaching.
But that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, you gotta know who you're
Because
approaching.
everything that you just said goes back to the cockiness for that guy that's coming in who may not be as successful as you are.
Yeah.
So he has to come into this room acting a little extra.
Well, it's not even that, but
to get the opportunity, because for the most
even
part,
if you're not at
you're
that
not
level,
as
if you got
successful,
a
you
mind
don't have
of an
that
emperor,
shot.
you're gonna throw the emperor energy out. Even if you're not at that level yet,
Agreed.
you're gonna throw that energy
One
out.
second.
Yes, especially, yes.
Because an emperor's a boss. You're gonna throw that boss out, but
Make sure she has,
You'll
Candy
know-
has her best.
you'll know. You just know your
Candy,
energy.
put 2 red chips
Oh,
down.
wait a minute.
2 red chips
Do
down.
you-
Two red chips right there,
Put
yeah.
it on the back.
We lost. I'm so stuck into her damn question.
Yeah.
Yo, it's great, yo, but yo, your questions are great.
So,
Definitely give some great insight But I have a question for
Okay.
you, right? So let's say a guy has a swag, right? And he's good looking, and he walks in the room, and he catches the attention, but he's timid.
According to her, he can't. He's timid.
It's a lack of confidence.
Yeah, the timid is, you know, it's not gonna work because I remind you, I'm an empath, I own a business. Now, it doesn't mean I'm cocky as hell, but I need you to be confident enough to not be afraid, intimidated
See,
by me.
this-
Because a girl like me will intimidate you. So you gotta have confidence enough, but not cocky enough to be comfortable to bond with me.
too.
Because if you're not confident to bond, how are you gonna bond? You know what I mean?
So this is perfect. This is gonna lead us to my next question.
What is it?
If I don't wanna jump on money. You know, you seen
6.
a woman of standard. So, just speaking of which, you know, coming with a woman of high standards, describe what would your standard be, somebody approaching you, and what would they be?
I would say they're gonna
Definitely gotta
approach
buy your
me,
drink
first
first,
of
right?
all, okay, if we're at, it all depends where we're at. We're at a club, seriously approach me in a nice way. You gotta like, hi man, buy you a drink, like a gentleman. Don't just like, hey, you look from, don't use these lines, bro. I've seen these guys come up and they're like, oh, I think I know you, like corny shit like that. I'm gonna see that and that's gonna turn me off. Telling you right now. Just if you use a game, but one of them they love to do is, I think I know you, you look familiar. Do not do that. Do not do that. It does not work. It makes
Why do
me
you
see
think
you
he's
weak.
doing it though?
Because he doesn't have confidence to just be real and just come up, step up the, right there you're wearing a mask when you do that. And I
don't
see
think
guys
it's
do that and it just, that's not gonna win me. That's not gonna win any girl.
11.
Let's go.
I'm
Yo,
gonna give you an
11.
example of what a guy
Come on.
approached me on
Yo,
social
11.
media. You know what he did?
Yo, 11.
He said, I think I met you at Babylon in
That's
New
fine,
York.
player.
That's his money.
Now,
It's his-
mind you,
it's his.
if I've been at
That's my
Babylon, I've only been in Babylon, New York with my boyfriends.
Pick up your winnings.
So you've not seen me. I can tell you that right now. You just making shit up because you saw that my profile said New York in Miami and you're making an excuse to bring game. That's not how you approach me, man. So right there, you really showed me that you had to lie to get my attention. You're a fucking liar right now. So right there, I turned off. And the guy was cute. I turned him off right there. I said, honey, you just lied right there because I rarely go to Babylon, and when I have, I've been there with a man. So
No, let's
no.
leave that.
Right there. Cut that off, and that turned me
Roll.
off.
It's your turn
That
to roll.
little good-looking himself, he ruined his game right there. Had he just approached me and just said, hey, you're a very pretty girl. Hey, I see you from New York. How long did you live in New York? You see how real that is? You will get more out of me like that than telling me you saw me in Babylon.
And I feel you, but
Nobody
and I
wants
don't
a
condone the
stalker
line.
at the
Listen,
same time
I'm also not condoning
Pick
the
up your
line.
winnings.
But
Winnings
we've all
win.
been to the club
That's yours.
and seen the
This is
group of
yours.
ladies out there with the stank
That's
ass
yours.
face, who are just looking. He better not come say anything to me. He better not come talk to me. So that generates that lie
Okay.
to try to get you to talk.
This is
Because for
another
the
thing I
most
want
part-
y'all to take into consideration. This is number one key. When you walk into a room and you're checking out a girl, you know that there's eye contact, okay? If the girl does not try to make eye contact with you,
Don't go talk to her.
do not talk to her.
Yo, but hold on.
I have
This-
purposely not made eye contact with guys to let them know I'm not interested.
I want it.
I don't want it.
Okay.
And guys will literally,
Yo, what?
and I'm like,
So
dude, I
question,
don't know what it's like
wait,
to
wait,
do this.
1 second. So, do you mean to say that
Don't do
there's
that.
never been a time that you didn't make eye contact with someone and the guy has been persistent and won you over through his persistenceness?
No.
No?
All it does, I'm gonna tell you right now, when you're persistent like that, you turn me off. You turn off girls like that. Because first of all, girls they don't want you to be super hard, but they do want you to at least play a little hard. You gotta know your self-worth. You gotta know that little playing
Roll,
hard.
roll,
Not
roll.
saying for y'all to play games. No. Up to a level.
Sound like.
I feel that. But
You
Candy,
know,
talk
like,
to me.
don't be too
Talk.
persistent because if a girl's not interested, it's not interested, no matter how persistent you are.
So
they're
in
not
other
interested.
words, what you're trying to say is that that makes a guy look thirsty, and it
Yes.
turns you off.
Turns you off.
You
No
need
one likes a
$2,
thirsty
you're supposed to
guy.
be
And I'm
12.
just being like, that guy doing that, he looked
100%.
thirsty. You know, if he would have just been like, hey, I saw you from New York, you know, I'm from New York, you know, how long have you lived here? That would have probably got more my attention way more than telling me he saw me in Upland.
I'm just saying that
You know?
he was trying to shoot his shot.
didn't do it the right way.
Because Candy was looking real standoffish.
Nah.
No, this was actually through social media, so I wasn't even looking
Oh.
that
He's trying to
standoffish.
shoot his shot. It's me. I moved it just so we wouldn't have a
I'm really
confusion.
putting my best in it.
But I will say
we
this.
eating right now.
Do
so
not.
I'm with you.
This is you.
Try
This is
to
you.
make
Okay,
eye
good.
contact when you know they don't want to. Just take that as
Yeah.
This
Go
is
to the
you, though.
next
This
bit.
is
There's
you.
plenty
So
of
why are you
those.
putting them here?
Don't waste your time with
All
that.
right, take that and put it back out there.
Who's that? That's not.
That's me.
Keep it in front.
Yeah.
All right, keep it. No, keep it.
Well, Candy.
So-
And don't be afraid. This is my
Candy.
thing with you guys. Do not be afraid to be rejected. It does not mean that you're not good looking or you're not good enough.
Candy,
So what does it mean, though?
Have you ever shot your shot?
Oh yes, I have. I've approached you. Oh, I have.
Candy.
I have.
And what did you do?
I first thing I do is I'm like a hunter because I'm a lion. So I scope my vicinity,
Lioness.
right?
And I bet he didn't make eye contact with you.
Let me tell you, I still am out for eye contact.
Okay.
If they don't, I will not even make a
Okay,
move.
okay.
Yeah.
So you've never
for
approached-
me, he ain't that interested.
Now,
No,
so
he's not.
see, here's the bigger thing. Now we're talking about looks, right? Look and eye contact.
Yes.
You got an eye contact rule that you apply to yourself
Yeah, I probably
to make
do
sure
myself.
niggas are interested in you.
Oh yeah, because I want
Like what?
to. You
Give me a
gotta
number.
make sure that there's a connection. You'll know connection even across the room. I mean, it's energetic, so you'll know like, okay, that guy's into me, and then you can see if you can fill it out.
Yeah,
And
but-
usually by that time, if we made eye contact, I give the okay, and they know, and then they approach.
Yeah, but do you
But
have
some won't approach, and when they don't approach, that
Okay.
tells me they're taken.
What's
But
your
do you have-
Even though they like me, they're taken.
But do
So-
you have a prolonged eye contact? Like, how is he gonna look at you? How
I
long?
would
a
say-
3 second,
Give
4
me-
second,
you know what?
analyze you?
Give
Let's
me
act it
that
out. Let's
eye
act it out.
What's the look that lets him know to come?
I like
Wait,
that.
wait,
Doctor's on.
Okay.
He's
Spell
on.
Okay.
on you.
Okay.
That's the
So
witch spell, I
watch
got
it. So now I'm gonna ask you a question a little different from that, right? Still based on the same concept, but do you think social media has made it easier or more difficult to date?
I think it's made it harder because now since we have all these apps of trying to make you look hotter, guys are getting even more
Yeah.
intimidated to approach women. And then we think
Winner.
we see you have, let's say you have 50,000 followers. You may not even be that big. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then you
No,
become
it's not me.
intimidated for even the girl in the mouth.
We win.
Oh, we won.
Yo, this conversation is so real that we're forgetting to play.
We're not
here.
even playing with
I think social media ruined
Man, roll
dating.
it, man.
You want my
Keep it
honest
rolling.
opinion? Social media
I'm
ruined
eating
dating.
over here.
It's not old school anymore. We're not approachable anymore. Before we used to be able to call each other and make bonds. It's through text.
Take
So
it
you
with you,
can't
guys.
really understand people where they're coming from through text. What I can tell you, you may take it the wrong way, and that's not what I meant. So
Absolutely.
right there, the connections.
So
you
what's
know how
a
many
good-
connections I've lost through text? A lot, because I took something the wrong way, or they took it the wrong way,
can't
and then the
text
connection.
tone.
Yeah.
So what's a
You
good?
gotta go back to old school beliefs of like, hey, call the girl. Hey, how? Or you gotta make the bond.
What about what's a good message though?
Unfortunately, the way that society
I know,
is
man.
today, you know that
They
phone
ruined
call
it.
is pretty. It's
Don't
hard.
call me.
Right.
I miss it so much. I tell people, I wish it was like the old days when we used to call each
Candy,
other.
so
and
real
shit.
quick,
I
so
hate it.
so what kind of a DM is a turn on to you? What kind of a DM is a turn off for you?
No, wait,
You're 11.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Don't
You're 11.
do-
You're 11.
Do not
Oh,
send
nine,
a
sorry,
highs or
nine.
hellos.
Nice.
I don't like that
Nine,
shit.
nine.
Don't send what?
Do not
Place
send a
bets, come on.
high or hello. Do not do that.
What do you
Little-
want them to
little-
say?
little-
Wait, man.
Just say something like, hey, beautiful, or like, hey, gorgeous. Say something more. Don't say hi, hello. You sound like you send that to 50,000 girls.
High gorgeous and high beautiful
No,
is what gets
yes.
the mass text
But
everybody.
hi and hello is annoying. I'm just being real. When I hear a hi, hello, I'll ignore your ass.
You know what?
Even in anything, I'll ignore your ass.
Yeah.
Because you're a time waster. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're a time waster.
Do you bother checking? Do you bother checking the social media account for the person who sent it to you, or do you not even get past the
I
hi?
don't even get. You say a hi, hello, I don't even look at it. Honestly, even if it's
Damn,
cute,
okay.
I'm being real. It's annoying because it sounds like you're just being
Say
annoying.
hi. Like when you're walking on the street with somebody, you don't just walk up and say, "Yo, you bad," or "Yo, let's go do this." Hi.
I'm telling you,
Nah,
hi,
winner.
hello is not nice.
Right.
I've learned
Let's go
that
eat.
even in like bookings, it's a
Eat.
time waster. I'm
Keep
just
rolling.
being real.
Now, not just a blank.
Make sure you guys
hi
are
and
picking up your
Just-
winnings.
you know what you wanna
Make sure
say
you're
is
picking up
say-
your money though.
That's right.
This is what you should
I am
say.
picking up one.
You caught my eye. How's your day? Or how about how's your day going?
But that's
You didn't even know
seems
how
so
much money is
cocky.
that?
You caught my eye.
No, because you're acknowledging
Because I'm the
someone's
man.
day.
Yeah.
You caught my eye.
No, this is what you tell them. You say, just wanted to see how your day is going.
Cool.
That's it. Like, how's your day going? That's something that's universal.
Hi, how's
You
your
can't
day
screw
going?
that.
Okay.
Hi and hello just sounds like you're sending it to 5,000 girls. I'm just being real.
Okay.
I'm being
Cool.
real. Like, be more. I would say connect more. Like, just be like, hey, I came across your profile. I think you're beautiful, and I just want to see how your day's going. That right there, even if she don't like you, it comes from a loving space.
So
Okay.
we're learning from you. You're gonna learn
When you
from-
say
you're
hi,
gonna
hello,
learn
it sounds like you're
You're gonna
just
learn
like
from
you're
us.
texting every
Okay.
bitch.
What you just
We're
said
in a
is a
different
mass
bracket now.
text template that guys have used.
Yes.
Hi, you've caught my attention. Hi.
Well, you know
look
what?
so
I'm not even gonna lie. I use
I don't
that
even
so
get
many
that.
times.
You know what I get?
That's
Hi
what they
and
say.
hello.
I've gone through your profile knowing damn well they haven't. So hi, hello is the most honest thing you're gonna get.
No,
Now, it
it's
shouldn't
not
just
good,
be
though.
hi and then dead.
Listen, but the
It's not
thing is
good.
though,
I'm just
we're
being
getting the
real.
feedback from a woman. We're seeing
I'm being
what we
real.
think is what they like, but now you're
Even
hearing it
in bookings.
from women.
If anyone calls me and says hi, hello, no, man. Like, go down to the point of things. Like, right there, you sound like, I'm being real, you sound like a time waster.
All right, Candy. So it's your turn to roll now. So you're gonna pick 2 dice from there. All right. Does anyone? All right. Everyone has their bets down. All right. You're gonna roll.
That way, right?
You can roll that way. You can roll this way. Any way you'd like. Whatever is easier. You can roll that way if you like. 6. All right. Winning number 6. So that means you got to roll another 6 in order for everyone to win. If you want to bet on, I'll bring you the dice in just a second. If you want to bet on any of these numbers, you can put chips here, or you can bet on any of these numbers here as well. Since this number is on a 6, you do
Can I
not.
have to bet 10?
Yes, yes. If you're betting on 8, you have to bet 12. The rest of them, you can bet 10. This, you can bet 5 or 10.
Are these dollars?
Those are 25, yeah. Okay. So the one number you don't want to roll now is a 7.
Don't roll that up.
5. All right, so you won here. 10 on 5.
Hey,
This loses. Pick that up. That's your winnings. You lose here, you lose here, you lose here.
Cool.
All right.
Give me another one.
All right. So now you're going to roll again.
Hey, no, man, you don't want to do that.
Wait, you want to.
sorry.
Go to the bit. All right, yeah.
All right, so this is, whose bet is this?
No, that's your bid?
No, this is mine right
All right,
here.
your bid's going to go
That's
here.
my bid. That's
Yo,
my
this
Jason,
10
your bid's
that
gonna
I
go
put
here?
Has been here forever.
Okay. Jason, this is your bid. Bolo, this is your bid. Kiaf, this is you. Keep your bets there. Go ahead. This is you, Bolo. Go ahead. 5. All right. We rolled a 5 again. So you won 10 on the 5. Okay. No, you lost here. There's no 5
Lost,
here.
bro.
Lost that there.
Gotta make my damn money back.
That's that power she got, bro.
Pick up your winnings. That's your winnings.
no idea.
Pick up your winnings. Go ahead. You roll again. 1 second. Guys, Jason, your bet goes here. Bolo, your bet goes here. Go ahead.
Come on, man.
6, winner, everyone wins. You guys lose here, because there's no 6 here. But the winning number is the 6, so everyone wins there. So you won 2 here,
Bet more on the field.
2 here,
I'm gonna win.
2 here. You went 2 here. Pick up. This 8 and 10 was whose? Whose 8 and 10 was that? All right, pick that up.
The 10 was mine.
There's 5, you get it back. So now it's a new.
I can put this here, right?
The 10 was
Yeah.
mine.
So now it's a new roll now.
Yeah, you gonna rob me, bro? The 10 was mine.
The 10 was his. Put it back. The 10 was his.
All
right, let's go.
All right, come
All
on.
right, Candace, you're gonna roll again. So the next question I want to ask you is, what is the most important thing you need in a relationship?
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability is because I see a lot of men not being vulnerable, and I think it's due to the fact that they think it makes them weak, and it actually doesn't make you weak. It makes you more brave. It shows that you're willing to put it on the line and lose it all, which means that you got courage. And I just don't see enough vulnerability in men, and it sucks. I mean, I've had to dump guys because they weren't vulnerable enough.
Wow.
I've at least cut 2 guys off because they refused to show me vulnerability, and intuitively I knew they cared. And I
Okay.
broke guys' hearts over this because
And that-
they just don't
that
wanna
has to do
it.
a lot
and then by
with-
the time they're willing to do it, I changed my mind.
It's too late.
It's too late. And I'm telling you this, to be willing to put it on the line, be willing to show your vulnerability. It does not mean you're weak. They actually did studies on wholehearted people, and they had vulnerability. It is the key to joy. So when you are being vulnerable, you are saying, I am willing to tell you I love you. I am willing to bet it. So it shows your courage. And the courage right there, it's like one step away from joy. Because when you don't have the courage to do shit, you have shame, you have fear. Fear is blocking joy. It's that fear and shame and all that motion is blocking joy. Because in fear is joy.
Okay.
So if you're not willing to have joy in your relationship and be vulnerable and take the risk, I mean, why would I want to invest in you? It's like, I mean, I think I find it sexy when someone's willing to show their vulnerable side.
Ladies like that soft shit.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we want a tough guy, but we want a guy also who will cry and be vulnerable and show me that you care. You know, I don't want to guess. Listen, I'm a reader. Yes, I'm intuitive, but I get tired. I'm not trying to read you 24/7. I want you to tell me how you feel. I want to see vulnerability.
So
period.
communication comes with that also, though,
Yeah,
right?
just being vulnerable, because I'm telling you, even when they communicate, they're not being vulnerable. They're still putting the mask on. Or like they only want to wear half the mask. No. You got to be willing to take the mask off. You know, we want to see the real you.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want a guy raising a kid. Let's say I want a kid. I don't want you not being vulnerable with my kid. You know, so I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna be like, oh no, he ain't daddy material. He's cold-hearted. I'm looking at this shit, and every woman's looking at this because you know they always think you're the one, so they're judging that. They're like, oh, he's not vulnerable enough. He's gonna be mean to my kid. That's the first thing I'm gonna think is that you're not gonna be a good daddy.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind, and you know, even if you have a kid, you want to see the vulnerability because it shows that you're willing to risk it for me, and that says a lot when you're vulnerable and you say you're willing to say, listen, I love you and I want to put it all on the line for you. Right there, I'm going to respect you for just being full of courage.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Because people don't have courage nowadays.
Why'd you say
9.
daddy and not dad?
Well, because there's daddies with people with more than one kid, and then there's the ones that are just one kid, you know?
Who's
So
this?
just because you got 2 kids, men think, oh, I know how to be a dad.
Here.
Not necessarily if you're cold-hearted, you know?
I was not going there.
I think JMB got some questions.
Wait, are you asking daddy or daddy?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Is this you?
5 is
All right.
Who's this? I need two
Jason,
chips,
right?
2 white chips
Yeah,
here.
that's me.
I need 2 white chips here. It's a $12 bet. Jay, your turn to roll again. I think JMB has a question for you.
Yeah, he was rolling earlier.
I was.
7 out.
Damn.
You can't roll no more.
Whoa. All right, so you lose this.
Damn.
Here.
The
Totally, I start
bank
looking
has
and go
cashed
down.
in.
I'll go. So in continuation of what we were talking about, right? Because clearly we're on 2 opposite ends of the spectrum on certain things. So what are some other misconceptions that us men might have about some women?
Like, what do you mean misconception?
Put 2 chips down.
Oh,
Chivalry.
Like, what do you mean? Like, explain.
hold on.
Talk to me. Chivalry.
Like what we think you like, right? So what are some things that the guys are doing to you that they think you want, you like, but it's really like,
this is
hell no,
another
this
thing
is not for
that
me.
I find this all the time. That
7
guys do
winner.
this, and I find the younger guys doing this. They want you to chase them. Okay, now, do not play that game of chasing it. And like I said, because when you do that, a low vibrational girl who doesn't love herself is going to chase you.
What's
A
the
high
vibrations?
value woman who already knows her worth is not going to chase you. She's
got
going to
a bet.
think it as you're not interested.
2 chips.
I've had a
sorry.
lot of guys do that to me. This one.
Yeah.
And it's because they're playing the game of wanting me to chase them, and because I know my worth, I'm not going to do it. And then I lose interest. Again, lose interest again. And then these guys get heartbroken because I cut them cold turkey like they ain't shit. And let me tell you something, but I got a badass cut-up game. I can bless you with my goodbye. I mean, I tell people, I will bless you with my goodbye, and I will leave a mark on you because I can walk away with no shame like I didn't know your ass. I'm a Leo, and Leos will do that. So take that in consideration that
Is you?
don't play those chase. You know, you could play a little
No,
hard,
no, no.
but nothing like
It's only
making
a
them
$10
chase you,
bet.
because what you're gonna get is a girl who doesn't love herself. Those are the girls that are gonna chase you. The ones that don't have self-love, who are insecure, who want to know every minute you're doing. You already signed up for that. So keep that in mind. Nothing good comes out of someone karmic. So
The problem is because in past relationships they play that game.
yeah, so guys are doing this, and I have guys do this, and I cut them off, and I break their hearts, and it's not that I mean to, it's because I'm like, I'm old school, so you can't come with that mentality of a 25-year-old when I'm 41, but my mentality's 60. You know what I'm saying?
23.
No, I'm 41. I'm 41, so I know, like, see how young I look? So these little boys come up, and they're playing these 25, 26-year-old, I don't got time for that. You know, when you run a business and you're trying to manage your desires, you don't have time for a distraction.
Let's go.
So you're either a distraction or you're gonna lift me up. If you're gonna be a distraction, I have to cut you off. I don't care. I have my dildos. They'll do the job. You ain't got, they'll do the job.
She said they will do the job. How many you got?
At least 2. You know, I mean, women, we jerk off and we can replace you. I'm just being real. So don't ever think that you cannot be replaced. Yes, you can. Every time a guy opens the door for a woman, he's offering her dick. Keep that in mind. So when you think you're unreplaceable, you're not. A girl will replace it. So don't play those games. Just, you know, it's okay to do a little bit of pull and take, but show you're interested. Don't be
Be
desperate.
genuine. Be genuine.
Be genuine.
But how do we show a genuine interest
Put 2 red chips
with
in.
To moderation and everything. You know, don't go full throttle, but moderation.
3.
Moderation is key because, you know, the guys don't know how to be moderate. They right away want to go full throttle, text them constantly. Like,
Okay, so that's a good question.
Moderation and everything.
If you meet someone, right, a night before, till you meet someone at a get together, you give that person your number, and that person texts you every few hours. How do you take that?
I don't take it as anything bad, honestly. Okay. And that's because I'm interested. So keep that in mind. So, but when I see the guy that don't text me for a week, I already know he already started that game. And I'm like, bro, do I really want to? Because I'm 41, I ain't trying to do this, man. Like, I've been there, done that. I'm not trying to play this game. Like I said, like, you got to know what you're approaching. Are you approaching a princess? Are you approaching a queen? Or are you approaching an empress? Empress are not going to chase. I'll tell you right now. I don't care if you're the hottest, richest emperor. She will not chase your ass. Keep that in mind. A princess and a page will. Because they're not an empress. So I've had guys do that to me too. Now I'm like, honey, I'm not that ex-girlfriend of yours. Like, I have my own business. I have my own life. When you have your own life, bro, you're lucky I'm making time for your ass. So if I'm making time for you, you gotta be worth my time. You know what I mean?
So he can't do this. He can't come cocky. He's got to be successful.
I jump guys for being cocky. I'll be honest.
He's not going to be chased because he's not.
He's not going to be chased.
So
you don't want a woman chasing your ass. That's a low vibrational
so then
woman.
What is the woman bringing to this situation?
Why do you put this?
Why am I chasing you?
It's not about chasing. It's about showing your interest.
Why do I want you?
Because I bring the table.
Why am I investing in you?
Well, you're investing because first of all, obviously I have the table to bring to the table. I have a business to bring to the table.
I'm already successful because you want me to be successful. So again, why are you here?
Because I'm successful too.
Bolo.
So what you're asking me what I bring to the table? Is that what you're asking me, or what are you asking me?
No, not you, Candy. But
women in general.
If I have to be this successful guy, I have to have this confidence. I got to do this. I got to do that, which I'm fine.
Well,
I'm fine with it.
Like I said.
But why am I investing in you?
First of all, okay, this is my point. If you're dealing with a woman that's chasing you, first of all, I can tell you right now that woman has no self-love and doesn't believe in herself.
Yes.
I can tell you right now, she does not believe in herself. A woman who's self-value, and you can see that in any therapist, knows her self-value, and she will not chase because she has her own life. She has her own manifestations. But when you're busy manifestation, you don't have time to chase some man. I'm being real. I'm being real with that.
Do I not have my own life?
Yeah, but women do too. And the thing, only women who are looking for someone that are low vibration, a woman who chases you probably don't got a company. I can tell you that right now. Probably doesn't have enough self-love. Probably looking for someone to take care of her. And she's willing to drop. She's willing to sacrifice her own self just to make you take care of her. So that should just tell you what level woman that you're bringing to the table.
2 chips. Candy, put 2 chips in.
Taking care of.
No, but we're talking about a value of a woman. Obviously, if she's chasing you, she ain't bringing nothing to the table is my point. a woman who has something to bring to the table, she's not gonna gamble what she has unless you're worth it. You understand? She has a lot to lose.
So why does the man have to chase and the woman can't chase?
Because a man should show that he's interested, because that's a natural instinct of a man too.
So how
A
is
man
she gonna
likes to
show that
hunt.
she's interested?
That's a fact.
How is she going to show that she's interested in me?
Because she responds. It's an equal give and
Because she
take.
says hi?
No, because she responds. What you give, she gives back. It's equal. Remember that. If she ain't investing, she ain't interested. If she texts you, she texts you back. You text her good morning,
So
the next
that's
day
her
she texts
investment.
you good morning. It's
Wow, see,
equal.
that's good.
So her response
It's equal.
to my investment
It's equal.
is her investment.
Yes. When you invest, she should invest back.
So,
if it's not equal,
that's a
if
good-
it's
that-
unbalanced, that means she's not
a good
interested. It
question.
should never be unbalanced.
Very good question.
Agreed.
Being real.
I just don't think that that's an investment on her behalf.
Why would it not be investment on her
By
back?
just saying, to responding to my text messages. She's essentially the damsel in distress. She's just accepting everything I'm giving her, right? And she's just.
Well, there's up to a
But she's the
level.
boss though, right? And she's the empress,
But
right?
you don't know if she is. That's my point, is you don't know. That's why you gotta invest and get to know her.
See?
And see, you'll know a person within 3 months if they're worth your time.
This is beautiful.
Remember, you're meeting everybody's representative.
Yeah.
So you gotta take that into consideration. So you got to invest to see if they're worth your time.
Okay,
And then
so-
from there, in 3 months, you'll know if they're
This
worth
is
your
great.
time.
This is great.
So that's what I
Leads to
do.
my next question.
What is your next question?
Your effort level between a man and
I think it should
a
be
female.
equal. Effort
Yeah,
level.
give me a ratio.
Take two.
50-50.
50-50.
100,
I mean,
100,
I think a guy should
60-40.
pay for a girl. I do think that. I mean, I do think
wanna
that
hear
because
this
it's a
from you.
gentleman. It's a gentleman. It even says it in the Bible that the man provides. And I'm not saying that we follow that. I'm just saying that it is looked for a man to cariñoso girl. That's normal. But I will say this, she needs to invest in her own way. Like, let's say you're spending money on her. Once in a while, she should be like, okay, baby, I'm gonna cook for you. We come down and
got it.
pamper you in her
Oh,
own
that
way.
was him, sorry.
Women
Get-
give
yo,
in
get
love,
my wrist.
affection, all types of ways. It's not just money. Remember, it's time and effort.
Yo, I'm looking at you and I'm looking
That's
at you.
it. That's
I'm looking at
money.
you and I'm looking at you direct. Give me your ratio. 50-50.
50-50,
100,
but not
60-40.
50-50. The energy.
All right. The energy?
Yep.
How would you go about the energy? Give me.
50-50. Like you text me, I text you too.
All right.
Equal deal. Like, but if you're not texting me, I'm not gonna text you because you're not putting it
But
back.
how about when we're in the household?
I will tell you this.
Going on in the household?
In a household, there's give and take. So are you
Y'all both work,
are you the
right?
provider or is she the cleaner? Like, that's what you need to decide. Is you bringing home the bacon?
Wait,
She's gotta make the home. A woman makes the home. Period.
Hey, so what about
You know that for a fact.
what about if you both do everything equally?
Do it equally then. You just give it both. Like, let's just say this. Okay, so like, what it
Just
brings
divide
balance.
ratio.
So let's say let's say you bring home the bacon, she brings home the bacon, right?
Yeah.
But you still gotta bring the balance because the woman makes it the home, but the man also brings the comfort in. Remember, because the man makes you feel safe. You cannot have a successful man without a successful woman.
Agreed.
Either or. You gotta be there to lift each other's up.
In a relationship, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a give and take because she's got to give her energy out and you got to give your energy, but it has to be reciprocated. Reciprocation is key. If it's not being reciprocated, then someone feels left out. And because of that, that's when problems arise. Because what arises when people don't reciprocate, you don't feel good enough. You feel taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And then negative emotions come in. And negative emotions, negative energy, blockages in the relationship, period.
You got a question?
So, it's got to be equal. Reciprocation is
It's gotta
right
be
now.
equal.
I've actually done guys, and I told them, I'm cutting you off. They'll be like, why? I said because
Winner.
you're not reciprocating. You know, I'm not chasing you. Like, I don't feel that it's equal here. Like, I feel like I'm more interested in you, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who's just as much as interested as I am.
Candy, where you at right now in your relationship?
That's a
right now?
damn good
Single.
question, Candy.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm single. I'm single because
You're single?
people do not reciprocate. Men do not reciprocate. And the thing is, I'm doing my other businesses, and those are my babies.
Right.
So if I'm gonna take my time out for you, you need to be worth my time. And see, they don't want to reciprocate, and I'm not gonna put in energy into where I'm not reciprocated. So why would I do that? I would rather put it in my craft. You get? Like, do I want to craft, or do I want to put in a guy who doesn't
Pick
reciprocate?
up your winnings.
So how come you haven't taught them this?
Because you know what? I do tell them this. They're used to low vibration girls who don't care about reciprocation, don't have love for themselves.
She's talking about vibes now. Now we talk about energies.
Is this
now
yours?
we're in a whole nother bracket.
Take that out.
Whole nother bracket.
Where you at, bro? Where you at? What's your sign?
A Leo.
Yeah? Damn,
Yeah.
take charge.
I do take charge.
She said she an empress.
Yeah, I'm an empress. So like for me,
Move over.
right now it's focused
Move
on my
over.
craft. And if
Alright.
you're gonna, if
Yeah,
I don't
the
want to
camera.
focus on my craft, you gotta be worth my time. Because my craft
6.
means a lot. So, you know, and I'm busy. Like girls who are chasing you obviously don't have a craft. Because if you're busy and you're like creating things and manifesting things, you don't got time to chase some guy, bro. That don't bring abundance and that don't bring spirituality. That don't elevate you. Period. It just shows that you are depending on a person when you really should be manifesting yourself.
Who's Candy? Let me know who's Candy right now.
Hey, Bolo, I think Bolo has a question. He has a question. He has a question.
I
What do you
like
guys-
Candy.
What you
You got your
Okay.
question?
All right, so the question that I have for you, this is very important. This, I
What is
believe
it?
that a lot of men can relate to this question.
Okay.
I want to know, all right?
All right, tell me.
It's not what you think. I'm going to throw a
Throw it out
curveball
here.
at you.
Throw it at me.
Why do women cheat? What is it that
I'm
happens?
gonna tell you why they cheat.
What is it that
Hold on,
happens?
I'm gonna tell you why
that
they
makes you
cheat.
deter from your current
Because
situation?
I'm gonna tell you why they cheat. Because they didn't have the guts to tell you. Because first of all, they're already low vibration. Because if they had self-worth, they wouldn't have been with you. Because if they're cheating on you, that means you were lacking in the department of not reciprocating somewhere. Now it could be in feelings, it could be in money, it could be in investing time. You weren't reciprocating. But she does not love herself enough to have courage to leave your ass. So what she'd rather do is have you there just in case shit don't go right with the next guy. You understand? You're a plan B. Because she cannot be by herself. So that's why I say pay attention to who you're dating, because that's a low woman who doesn't love herself. Because if she did, she wouldn't waste her time with you. She would go be single and go enjoy her fucking life and not have to answer to nobody. But why is she there? Because she wants to keep you there because she feels insecure about being alone and doesn't want to be alone. But her drive to not be alone is bigger than being with you. You understand? So it's like, I'd rather have him here because I'm too insecure to be alone.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Nice, solid
And
answer.
you need to embrace solitude, because in solitude is where you find yourself. Remember, when you lose yourself and when you find yourself is through solitude. That's why we meditate, because we're taking out all the garbage in our mind and we're taking time out to connect. And how do you connect with source if you're not taking time out? How are you going to find your guidance? You can't if you're in something karmic constantly and not taking time out for yourselves, and that's what happens. So that's why I said know who you're dating, because these are people who don't truly love themselves. Probably narcissists.
So-
Probably
Nice.
got yourself a narc.
We probably got a little bit, so in 30 seconds, the most important question that all men want to know.
What?
Does size matter? 30-second answer.
Okay.
What you got?
But
Does size matter? Does size matter?
Does size matter?
yes, it does. And it doesn't need to be big, and it doesn't need to be small. It needs to be in the middle.
What's the middle?
It needs to be in the
What's
middle.
the middle?
I would say normal.
What's normal?
What's
To be
going on?
normal.
What's normal?
Enough to get me off.
You're
and
on a
enough to do the
man's
job.
podcast. You need to give us a number.
Enough?
What's the
Okay,
number?
I'm gonna tell you what's normal. Enough for me to get off to it. If I can't get off to, there's a problem.
We got
Okay.
four.
Just
we
to
got 6. We got 8. Just to piggyback. Which one of those numbers is normal?
What's normal? Pick a number. Pick a number.
Can I get a ruler?
Pick a number. Pick a number. Pick a
Can I
number.
get a ruler?
Pick a number off the board. It's set for you.
Ah,
Here's a stick.
I'm gonna say this. You ain't gotta be huge. I would say
Nah.
like that. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell
Hey,
you why.
hold on,
I'm gonna
hold
tell you
on.
why.
Just to piggyback off of what he was saying,
Done.
And you better be able to get it
How-
on.
Show it to the people.
It has to be hard.
Show it to the people.
That's
Hey,
it.
show it to the people.
how long should a guy
Show it to the
last?
I
people.
think it should at least minimum is here. Minimum. And it should be hard.
So what
if
is
it's a
that,
limp dick, you're not gonna qualify. Limp dicks don't qualify. Being real.
Turn to the side, Kenny, please. That's how I know you're lying, Kenny. You can't even reach anything. We don't.
No,
You're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
You're lying.
Nobody
You're
wants a big ass
lying.
dick. They don't. That's a
I
lie.
agree with that.
No, they don't.
All right, guys. Hey.
If you got a big ass
Hold
dick,
on, hold on,
I'm
hold on.
gonna dump your ass because
Check this out.
I'm not looking
All right,
for
guys.
your
Hey.
Just to
I'm being
piggyback off of what he
Real
was
quick.
saying,
Last
right?
question. Last question.
So
Last
now-
question.
Now that we got the
Last
size,
question.
right? How long should a guy last?
He should be able to last 45 minutes at least.
What if it's good?
45 minutes?
Not
if it's
not
good?
5 minutes, not 10
Take
minutes,
my
at least
shit
30
and go
minutes, 30 to
What if it's
45 you
good?
should be able to last.
30 to 45.
What
Yeah, I
if
say
it's good?
45, you should be able to.
I'm a
You could
motherfucking
do a lot.
business owner. I don't have 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
At least 45.
Wow, okay.
I don't have 45
All right,
minutes to
that's
spend on sex.
Well,
All right, guys,
30
listen.
minutes being the lowest, I would say. But like even then, like like I said, make the effort.
Okay,
All right, guys.
Kicked in,
But
maybe.
like on and off or like just straight?
I would say you gotta be good at what you do too. Like this is what I say: if you got a small
Be
dick,
good
you don't
and get
eat
it
that
done in
great.
12
You better
minutes.
eat good pussy. You gotta come out even balance is the key here.
All right,
so if
guys.
you got a little dick, you better eat good
You're
pussy
talking to me
too.
when you
Okay.
talk.
You know what I'm saying? Like
All right, guys.
you gotta come out even.
Candy, all right.
That's my problem.
All right,
I'm all in.
that's all the time we got. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode.
It's your boy BOLO.
Yeah.
Candy, thank you for joining
See you
us on the
guys for next
cast.
Thank you for having me.
JMV, you already know.
Have a good one. Good job, good job. Let's
That's
go.
funny.
Yo.